It is City Council Member Andrea Reese and our Public Service Director Glenn Caldwell are going to be in jail from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on November the 2nd, and they are raising funds to help Kaufman County Crime Stoppers to help with payouts for tips in solving crimes. So if you can, please reach out and help Andrea and Glenn, or let them sit in jail. It's your thing. But I have a photo. I don't know if we're online yet, but this is what Andrea looks like in jail.
That's hilarious.
So please,
One other
yes.
part of that too is that beyond just the tips, it also goes for anti-bullying programs in all of Kaufman County schools. So that's a really important program.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for participating, and good luck in bail. I've done it. I think all of us have rotated around, so I think the people of Terrell will support you and get you out of jail. Next on the
Mayor, I do
yes.
have one reminder for all of those that are looking to, in the city limits or anywhere within Precinct 3. So Kaufman County Precinct 3 Cleanup Day for the fall is this Saturday, the 5th, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So that's an opportunity to drop off bulk items like mattresses, furniture, brush, as an example. And all residents need to do is take proof of their residence, such as a driver license or a water bill. So once again, that is from 8 to 4 p.m., and that is at the Terrell Convenience Station off of 287 FM 429 in Terrell.
Okay, thank you, Councilwoman. Our next item on the agenda is to hear remarks from visitor. Don, do we have any? All right, thank you. Item 6 is adoption of the minutes. Discuss and consider minutes from the special city council meeting on October the 24th of 2022 and the regular city council meeting on October the 25th of 2022. Is that right? Those are two things for the same day. Okay, yeah, you're right, you're good. Yeah. If you had an opportunity to review those minutes, is there a motion?
Mayor, I move to approve the regular city council meeting, October 25th, 2022.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second?
I have a motion from Grady Simpson, District 2, a second from Andrea Reese, District 5, to approve the minutes as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries with unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda is 7.1, discuss and consider park board appointments. This is City Secretary Don Stahl.
Yes, Mayor and Council, Melissa Nichols resigned from the Park Board recently, and we need to replace her on the Park Board. And Reginald Pegram, his term, he's actually term limited out. His term is up, was up in October, and we have several applications in the board, in the packet, and we just passed out another application that we received today. And this falls under Mayrani Velasquez.
Okay. Councilwoman, this is your board. Do you have a motion?
Yes, at this time, I'd like to motion to appoint Kelsey Weibel to serve on the park board.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I second.
We have a motion from Mayrani Velasquez, Mayor Pro Tem District 3, and a second from Grady Simpson, District 2, to appoint Kelsey Weibel to our park board. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries with unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda, these are discussion items. 8.1, discuss subdivision ordinance. Oh, did I? Oh, you're right, I'm sorry. You know what? Item 7.2 is to discuss and consider appointment of tax increment reinvestment zone number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4 board and the Power Center board. And the reason why I was moving so fast, I have reached out to individual to see if they're interested in that board. I'm waiting to hear back from them. As soon as they get back to me, then I'll be ready to make that nomination. So I need to postpone item 7.2. Is there a motion, please?
Motion to postpone item 7.2.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion from Mayor Ronnie Velazquez, Mayor Pro Tem District 3, a second from Andrea Reese, District 5, to postpone item 7.2. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes with a unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda is 8.1. Again, these are discussion items. Discuss subdivision ordinance. This is going to be handled by Myra Mata.
Hey,
I'm
Mayor,
looking forward to
Council,
this.
Good
yes.
evening.
stars.
Mr. Rogers here is handing out some bullet points for you guys
Okay.
of the subdivision ordinance that I'm going to be going over. Before we start, I do want to bring up that today is actually my 3-year anniversary working here.
All right.
So you guys are stuck with me for a while, so.
Cool.
Before you, I have the subdivision ordinance, just a quick summary. In your packet, you have a wonderful document of 103 pages, and you're probably asking yourself, what is the subdivision ordinance? Just a quick little overview, the City of Terrell subdivision ordinance was originally adopted on January 18th, 2005, under the authority of the Texas Local Government Code, Chapter 212. So what really is this document? So basically, it just sets the minimum requirements for the plating and development of subdivisions within the City of Terrell and the extraterritorial jurisdiction, also known as ETJ. And it complements the technical construction standards and specifications, the TCSS, the comprehensive plan, the zoning ordinance, and all of our building codes. Some of the bullet points down here, just to highlight what the subdivision ordinance does, guides property owners to the correct procedures and standards. It establishes adequate and accurate records of land subdivision. It ensures that public or private facilities are available and will be sufficient for any kind of development coming up. It also minimizes conflicts for the uses of land and the buildings, and it encourages the development of a stable, prospering economic environment. The rules and regulations are in accordance with the interlocal agreement between the City of Terrell and Kaufman County in the ETJ. So we actually have plating authority in our ETJ. Like I said earlier, this document before you in your packet is actually going to be a codification of multiple amendments, as you can see on that first page on your agenda of 8 ordinances that you have previously adopted. So there's nothing super exciting about this, unfortunately. This is just making it one document so we can basically hand it over to someone that is coming for us saying, hey, what do I need to do? I can hand you one thing and you can go about your day, have a fun little reading before bed and go about your day. So that's really basically all this is. I will take any questions if there is any.
Were there any major changes in any of those documents that we combined, or just the same, we just put them together?
In this actual document, we're just putting all of them together. You can see on your agenda item, page 23, all of the ordinances. They were just minor updates. Most recently, off the top of my head, I know we had that fiber update that we did, putting that into there. That was ordinance 2910. And then you can see on that page, park land dedication, just some street naming protocol. So just basically some minor revisions.
Okay, thank you, Omar. So, council, what this does is enable, instead of the city having to walk them through everything, we just hand them a document, and it's up to them to come to the city in compliance, right?
That's absolutely the idea, and in particular, this time around, what we're really aiming for is that as our new annexations happen, we want to be able to attach or reference a individual ordinance If we were to do that now, we'd have to reference, what is this, 7 different ordinances or 6 different ordinances. If we pass this and basically recodify everything you've already voted on, then we can hand them one ordinance and have one nice clean reference to one ordinance. And that's really the goal here. So Amira's helping us just march it through the process.
Anybody have any questions or comments for Elmira?
Omira, I see here on page 23 of 346 or page 1, for this specific item, that it looks like there's only minor revisions to ordinance number 2500, as I'm reading it here in the, we'll call it the table of contents. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. So what I can tell you about that is probably those were just some grammatical kind of formatting things. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what that looks like. Everything else on there is probably something we included into it. So it's not technically a minor revision, so it has an ordinance of its own. So that's why we're combining it all together.
You said grammatical.
Yeah, but let's just clarify a point here so it doesn't get misstated. Council already voted on ordinance 2931. We're not changing a single word of it, okay? And so the most recent thing y'all voted on was the September 20th, 2022 update on the parkland dedication. And in that, you established the new dollar amount, which is $1,100. We're not changing anything about that at all. All we're doing is putting it into one single document. That's why we call this a recodification. We're not plowing new ground. We're not making minor revisions to something we adopted in September 6, 2011. We're taking the minor revisions that were adopted in 2011 and recodifying them again.
Thank you for the clarification.
Good. Anyone else? Thank you, Elmira. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next item on the agenda is 8.2, discuss sesquicentennial and events update. This is our Public Information Officer, Allison Walker.
Good evening. Thank you for having me tonight. I just wanted to come before you and give you an update on the sesquicentennial planning for 2023. And there are downtown events and our Christmas update. Can you go back one, Dawn? Okay. Too kind, Steve. Okay, I'll just let you do it. Okay. It's okay. There we go. Okay, so on this first page, you will see this is the logo that we've been working on for several months. The first image is our main logo, and then we will use that reverse side to do a sesquicentennial commemorative coin. And our plan is to make multiple sets of these with the back side would feature different entities. We will do the library, the fire department, the police department, and then all of our 3 educational institutions throughout the city. Then we're also trying to find the appropriate place to have these painted somewhere in City Hall. And that will just be our first commemorative tribute to our 150-year celebration. Okay, the second one, this was a special mayor request. This is basically the same thing that is on the first image, but these are wooden ones, and so our intent is to have these to pass out at the Christmas parade, other special events that we're gonna do throughout the year. The mayor makes a lot of appearances with kids, so that's just something else we will do. And we did find a cheaper, he asked me to find a cheaper source to do those. I was trying to shop locally, but anyway, so they will not be that price. They'll be like half that.
Again, so the idea is we are out in public. And Andrew, if you're in an event with children, or maybe Ronnie or Grady, and you want to give them something. Sometimes I give my pen, right, because they ask, and if they've done something real special, I'll just hand them a pen. I thought we can't give them those coins because they're too expensive to produce, but this little, we used to do it at the restaurant, wooden nickels, right, and get a free margarita or a free enchilada dinner or whatever it might be. They're not getting anything free, but it will promote the city and give you an opportunity to bond with your district a little bit. So that was the whole idea of doing this. I hope there's no opposition to that, and we can move forward. Go ahead, Allison.
Did I hear correctly that if we cash in a coin, we get free dinner?
No. Hey,
What I
Yes.
if you have one of those old Carmonas, those are
Right.
collectible items now.
Yes. Okay. All right. Then this, we finally got word that our historical marker is being approved from the Texas Historical Commission. This will be located at the corner of South Alley and Adelaide. And then in conjunction with that, we will have a mural that will face South Alley. The work on that is supposed to begin in November and will be completed by February the 1st. And we will coordinate a weather-appropriate day to do an unveiling of the marker and the corresponding mural. Okay, this is something that I have been working on for a while with the help of Glenn's team to find the city's largest tree. So far, this does not look very big, but Mike can confirm with me that we watched a video and it looks substantially larger than this. So there's the measurements. I did receive an email today from Texas A&M, and it was kind of disappointing because he said that these trees grow very rapidly. So if he was looking at the entire state database, ours would only be like 9th. But he feels like it's no older than about 100 years, probably 125 at most. So if anyone knows of where a bigger tree is in the city limits, please send them my way and we will go about the same process, trying to get appropriate measurements and see if we can find an older, bigger tree.
And I'm going to say that there's nothing to be ashamed of with a tree that is 16 feet around and is the 9th biggest of its species. So it's still a huge tree and well worth the effort to find one of the older trees in Terrell. But we'll keep looking and see if there's anything that happens to be. Our hope was to find something that would date back to 1873. And we haven't found it yet, so we'll have to put the city engineer on it. Maybe Chris Knapp will find one for us.
That's right. Chris, you didn't know that's in your new job description.
Yeah.
Okay, so some other projects that are in the works. We are working on some panels that will depict decades in the city's history, starting with 1873 and up to the present. These will be displayed at City Hall, so that's in the works right now. We're working with the Terrell Heritage Society, the library, the state hospital, and multiple people to assemble those. We will be doing a year-long social media promotion that will feature stories of people, buildings, and events from our 150-year history. The Heritage Society is working on a sesquicentennial calendar, and they were hoping to have it in time for the British Bash, but it looks like they will maybe have it in time for our Christmas event. They are also working on doing a history walk in the summer of 2023, and they have a tentative agreement with the state hospital to have it out there. Yes.
I'm going to bring up two things that people will recognize. One is that the panels include the mayor photographs that used to be up in City Hall, City Council chambers. So those of you with a history in this room know that there used to be a row of old mayor photographs here, and those are forming the basis of the decade panels, and with some additional research and help from the Terrell Heritage Society. So that's a great thing. So that's a coming back thing. And the other thing is, if you notice Allison's theme here, We're not just celebrating 1873. We're celebrating all sorts of historical events from the last 150 years. So I keep telling people, if you've got something that's top of mind to you, pass it along to me or Allison and make sure that we get it on the list, because we're thrilled to celebrate not just 1873, we're celebrating 150 years of history.
Okay. The Terrell Ministerial Alliance is also working on a date for a historical marker walk. I don't remember right offhand, but we have multiple churches that have historical markers on their grounds, so they're planning to do that in the spring. And then any other events that we do in partnership with the Chamber or BFTS or any other organization, we are working to have some type of sesquicentennial branding on those events throughout the year. The mayor already briefly reminded y'all about the British Bash, but we do have a couple of other things that have been added to this event. We will have a British comedian there that day. We will have a book signing by Lorraine Heath. She wrote Girls of Flight City, and it's a novel about the women trainers during World War II. Our Terrell High School Drama Department students are going to be dressed as British characters for photo ops on that day. And then we will have a special appearance by a British dignitary. All right. Our annual tree lighting, we're going to have that at 6 o'clock before council meeting. Hopefully, the same place that we got a tree last year will respond, and we will be able to get a tree in time for that. We asked them to save us one last year, so hopefully that's the case. Our crews that decorate City Hall have committed to have all the lights up around City Hall before the British Bash on the 12th. And then our employee Christmas party is scheduled for Thursday evening, December 8th at Rockwall and Bryn Church of Christ. Okay, and then the last is the Holly Jolly Downtown Party, which is our after the parade event. This year's theme is a gingerbread Christmas. We will have the lot at Rockwall and more decorated, and we have multiple new props that will be used, and we have told them to get rid of all the old junky ones, so I hope it'll look nice. And then the downtown merchants will join on that with specials and promotions, and Santa. I don't know if we can tell who Santa is, but Andrea knows him very well. And then we'll have a live DJ downtown to play music at Books and Crannies. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Nope. Anyone? Thank you, Allison.
You're welcome.
Allison always does a wonderful job for us in preparing the city for these events, so thank you, and all of the staff that's involved in doing so. It's important that we, as a city, be leaders in some of these events, so thank you. Also, a reminder on the parade, usually they have the mayor and the council there, so put that date down for the parade. Next item on the agenda is 8.3, discuss approval of the tax increment reinvestment zone number 2, project plan and finance plan. This is going to be handled by City Manager Mike Sims.
So, Mayor and Council, probably your first reaction to this item is, gosh, this looks familiar. Haven't I seen this before? So we're kind of working slowly through a state law process. The very first thing you do when you create a tax increment refinance district is in the ordinance where you create the district, you attach a preliminary project plan, finance plan to that. So that's the document that's in your packet, and it's, probably about 30 or so pages long for each of the ones that we're going to talk about. And number 2 is the one that is south of Interstate 20, and it's concentrated on the 1,100 acres that we're working through that annexation process with Arboretum Estates. So in this particular example, this one is ready to move forward to make the step from preliminary project plan and finance plan to final project plan and finance plan. We can do that because you've not only signed the agreement with the county for their participation, but you've also formed the board, put the board members on, and board number 2, TERS board number 2, has had its initial vote approving changing the preliminary project plan and finance plan to the final project plan and finance plan. So it's a bit of inside baseball, but that's the way that the game's played, to go through creating these tax increment refinance zones. And it'll be on your agenda next week for approval by ordinance. We didn't make any meaningful changes in the document, but if you go all the way back to Appendix F in this wonderful document, then what you'll find is that way over in Appendix F, you've got a new map where we've simply updated the shot there. So this is your visual identifier of the location. You've got Interstate 20 up on the top of the map. You've got Arboretum Estates kind of in the middle here. You can see that big white line that runs through the middle of Arboretum Estates. That's Los Lomas Boulevard. That's the road that's very important on our thoroughfare plan, connecting FM 2578 up with Griffith and 205 on the north side of town. So this is our western bypass that's being provided as an arterial through that area. Great excitement with that. Happy to get that done. And then you can see that the rest of the boundary of the tax increment refinance district goes up to what people would refer to as Lechner Farm. It's the area identified as LDR on this particular map that reaches up to the corner of Interstate 20. So this nestles in right on the south side of Crossroads and Buc-ee's and TERS number 1. And this is just an update to the map that was previously provided, where we got some of the acreages corrected and ready and up to date. So that's literally the change from the last time you've seen it. It was approved unanimously last time around, and we'll bring it to you in ordinance format next week.
Okay, all right, thank you, Mike. So council, if you would take some time, review it. It'll give you all the costs associated with all the infrastructure and the paybacks, the financial part of it, and also the plan itself. Does anybody have any new questions for Mr. Sims on tax increment reinvestment zone number 2?
You said that was south of I-20.
Yes, sir.
Oh, all right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is 8.4. We postponed this item, so it's up for, no, is this council postponed this?
So,
or is
yeah,
it
the
board
idea
apart?
here is that the developer we're working with in this case, zone number 3 is the one south of Spur 557, north of Interstate 20. They asked prior to the TERS meeting on Monday that this be delayed because they'd still like to do a little bit of talking with us about some of the details of the project plan, finance plan. So this one, we're just asking for council to postpone pending TERS approval.
Again, this is just a discussion item, so
That's fine, right.
until it comes back, so, yeah, so we're gonna postpone item 8.4 until a later date. Our next item on the agenda is 8.5, discuss approval of the tax increment reinvestment zone. Number 4, project plan and finance plan.
So, Mayor and Council, on this one, this is the one that you might refer to as the North Spur project, because it's up at the corner of Spur 557 and US 80, and then it spans all the way over to just behind Walmart, again, reaching over to touch TERS number 1, this time on the sort of northwest corner of TERS number 1. And this is the one where, again, we're taking Los Lomas and going through the crossing of US 80 up through that part of the world. That's the map of North Spur. That's a good one to pause on. So this is the one that's the major annexation that we're doing, that's about 700 acres, and it includes some single-family residential and then some retail opportunities, and then also the light industrial business park over on the eastern side of the project. So in this particular case, no changes to this particular preliminary plan and project plan. It will come to you in ordinance format with no changes from the last time that you saw it. But again, we go through the state law process of changing from preliminary plan to final plan, and that's what's been recommended unanimously by your TERS number 4 Board of Directors.
All right, again, council, there's a table of contents on all of these, so if there's a specific thing that you're interested in, whether it's the project cost or the method of financing or just the zone, the maps themselves, you know, you can use that as a guide to work through these project plans and finance plans. Is there any questions for Mr. Sims? And we will see these next Tuesday?
Yes,
and we'll vote on those. So if you have any questions, please reach out to staff or Mike. Our next item on the agenda is a business item. It is discuss and consider the financial plan. This is going to be handled by our city manager, Mike Sims.
So, Mayor and Council, this is one, again, kind of an efficient working day here for you. You've seen this several times since September. This is our annual update to our financial policy. It's just a good practice to put it in front of you every year so that we all are reminded about what the rule book is with our finances. This comes to you with a couple of minor changes since last year. One of them is some minor updates in the council travel policy. We reviewed those previously, but that's really just sort of updating to current numbers and current process. And then the other one that's really the newer issue is the cell phone policy. As you know now, it's essentially a process where we're acquiring a cell phone for an employee and managing the agreement associated with that and paying for the monthly cost of that for each employee. We think it'll be efficient for us over the course of time to change to a stipend policy. And so you see that here is the cell phone allowance policy. It gives you some rules associated with the purpose, the procedures, the justification for it. You've got to work through some paperwork with your department head to get onto this. But our goal is that we will transition some of our civilian employees over time to being on cell phone stipend as opposed to buying and managing everybody's individual cell phone. You won't really see us do that with public safety because there's some other issues involved with some of those public safety phones, but we will be making this transition over time, and this is the first step into it. And so looking forward to getting this particular policy in place.
Thank you, Mike. So again, council, we talked about the changes. This allows us to have checks and balances in our system. And with any organization, you need to have a good financial plan that works for your organization. I think this one achieves that goal. So does anybody have any comments or questions for Mr. Sims? Hearing none, is there a motion on item 9.1?
Motion to approve item 8.1 as presented. 9.1.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
We have a motion from Mayor Ronnie Velasquez, Mayor Pro Tem District 3, and a second from Andrea Reese, District 5, to approve the financial plan as presented. Is there any discussion from council? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with unanimous vote of those present. Our next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Item 10. Greg, would you read that into the record, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. We bring to you tonight ordinance number 2937, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, vacating and abandoning a portion of the way of Jameson Court located in the Mike Cronin Business Park, City of Terrell, Kaufman County, Texas, as more particularly described in Exhibit A, authorizing the conveyance thereof to the abutting property owners, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. And this comes to you tonight on second reading.
All right. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Mayor, make a motion that we will approve the consent agenda as presented.
Have a motion, second.
Second.
We have a motion from Grady Simpson, District 2, a second from Mayor Ronnie Velasquez, Mayor Pro Tem District 3, to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there any discussion from council? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with unanimous vote of those present. We're now going to adjourn into executive session in accordance with Section 551 of the Texas Government Code to discuss the following. Section 551.072, deliberations regarding real property. Section 551.087, deliberations regarding economic development negotiations. We are now in executive session. We are going to reconvene into regular session and consider action, if any, on items discussed in executive session. Greg, would you please read the ordinance, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we'll bring to you tonight a resolution number 2043, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Terrell, Texas, approving a Chapter 380 Economic Development Program and Development Agreement between the City of Terrell, Texas and the Terrell Economic Development Corporation for the borrowing and expenditure of funds for the construction and installation of a water line along property located in Eastland Business Park and Arboretum Estates in the City of Terrell, authorizing the city manager or his designee to negotiate and the mayor to execute the agreement with the Terrell Economic Development Corporation and establishing an effective date.
And that resolution number is 2043.
Yes, sir.
All right, is there any action on resolution 2043?
Motion to approve Resolution 2043.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
We have a motion from Andrea Reese, District 5, and a second from Grady Simpson, District 2, to approve resolution number 2043. Council, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, let it be known by stating aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with unanimous vote of those present. We are now adjourned.